Yesterday, we had Sam Monson on, who's one of the lead analysts for PFF. He gave us a little insight into how PFF calculates their grades for every single player in every single game. He said they have a staff of 70-plus who watch the plays, they track it, they bring in the analyst. We as fans usually remember a handful of plays. They look at every single play. And he admitted it's not a perfect science, but he thinks they do as good a job as any. So we've been doing this the last couple of weeks. It's been a very popular segment. So we're going to bring it back today with a little different fashion. G. Bush, get your faces ready. Ty, you got your faces. I'm going to give you an over-under, a player and a number. And you're going to give me a happy face if you think he graded higher than the number I give you, a sad face if you think it's lower. I'll give you the result, and we'll discuss whether we think it's fair, foul, or inappropriate. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Myles Garrett.
Let's start with DTR, a PFF grade.
Does he lose the R because he stunk?
No,
I saw someone say
his first name is Dorian.
None of it. Dorian.
Dorian.
No DTR.
Yeah, you don't get the initials.
Just Dorian.
All of them got right.
Yeah. By the way, shouldn't what's his name? Danny Dimes lose his nickname?
Yes.
He's Danny Half Cent.
No, he's Danny Sack-a-Lot. 10 times he was decked against
a penny for each time he was sacked.
Seahawks.
Dorian
Sackalicious.
Thompson-Robinson, over under a 35 PFF grade.
0.
In his first career start. Give me a happy face if you think it's higher.
It's lower.
A sad face if you think it's lower.
I think Mike's messing with us here. I think it's probably like a 36.
Yeah, probably right.
I watched the all 22. It was
horrible.
Not good.
Atrocious.
Now I'm going to go to counter Mike messing with us. I'm going back to angry.
So we all
Angries
think that it
across the
was.
board.
We all say it was below
All
35.
angries. He was the lowest graded Brown in this game.
No.
Offensively. And he graded at a 38.5.
We don't even care. It's in the 30s. It's
horrible.
all the same. It's all the same. Like, man. Hey, by the way, I do want to say something. There was people open in this game. He was predetermined throws.
Yeah, he was.
Also, the check down to the tight end on the chip on the defensive end was, their plays, Njoku was out in the flat. I'm talking 10, 15 yards. Easy money. Easy.
I saw a stat, G. He threw to his first read on 74% of his attempts.
That's what rookie quarterbacks do.
Can't do it.
The speed of the game went from 50 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour. Tyvis, you know that as well as anyone.
I kept saying
It hasn't for C.J. Stroud.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, he's a Buckeye.
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Go Bucks. Go,
All right.
That's where he went.
Buckeyes don't have a track record of good quarterbacks in the NFL.
No, we don't.
He's holding it down.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
There's always
considering
a
how good
starter.
program it's been.
I mean, just go back to like the Troy Smith days. It's every one of them have been a Heisman candidate,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
and none of them have had
No.
success in the league.
None.
But
Until now.
Until
Yeah.
now.
All right.
All right, next up, Elijah Moore, over under a 49.
Yeah.
Three bad faces.
It pains me to say this.
49.1.
48.6.
That would be a Mike special right there.
Yeah.
Four upset
everybody's-
faces, and for the second time in a row, you guys are all wrong. He graded out at a 54.8.
Still don't matter.
54.8. According to PFF, he was essentially a 56 to a 52 on
think-
all three categories. Receiving, rushing, which I don't know how. This one, he had
He
one
fumbled.
rush. We had
That
one
was
rush for
last
negative
game.
20 yards.
And they gave him 52 for rushing.
He got a 58.6 in rushing.
Can we get Sam back on the line?
By the way,
I don't get that one.
One carry for minus 20 yards, and he's a 52.
I don't
Hold
get
on.
that.
Could that also include blocking on plays and stuff
No,
like that?
there's a different
No,
one
that's
blocking
different.
grade,
I'll give
which
you
we had a
this.
58.5.
he ran the ball. I watched that play 70 times on the all 22.
70?
Where he was
70.
running the wrong end zone?
Yeah. Nick Harris and your boy Harrison Bryant was blocking. Nick Harris got his block. Harrison Bryant got stood up, kicked in the face, and knocked back 14 yards.
Kicked in the face.
Instead of,
He got a 77 on that play, though. Harrison did.
So listen, he was terrible in that play. He got drop kicked. And Elijah Moore, he's not a running back, he's a receiver. Instead of him cutting the ball up and getting into the hole, Ethan Poacher's had a decent block, but he eventually got beat too. But he turned around 3-4 times and got negative 30 yards. But it wasn't like it was just him.
And got a 52 grade for that play.
The Browns up front have
Was
not
that his
been
only
good.
rushing play?
He
One carry.
was only graded on one rushing play. Correct.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
I don't
I would like
understand
to
that
ask
one
Sam how that
Yeah,
happened.
we need Sam back on line one.
All right, next up, Grant Delpit, over under a 62 PFF grade for his performance against Baltimore.
See, now I'm of the mindset that he's trying to fool us.
I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna keep. I gotta. Eventually, this is gonna be right.
I think he got 71.
Eventually,
I'm going with the happy face.
This has
So
gotta
two
be right.
happies, two mads. We finally have a right answer. It will be two of you. He graded out at a 48.
Woo!
He had a bit. He's 4th overall in PFF.
He was 4th
I know.
overall.
No, he still is 4th overall.
After that performance?
Despite
well,
that.
he was the 9th highest rated defensive player.
And he's still up there. His
How
overall
many-
season PFF grade is just shy of an 86.
The 4th overall must have been including this game.
How many
No,
missed
it
tackles?
is including. It is including.
Yeah.
How many missed tackles did he have? Because if he only had like 5 opportunities for tackles and he missed 3 tackles,
Yeah.
He had, according to PFF, he had 8 tackle opportunities, 2 missed. So a 25% missed tackle rate.
Okay.
6 out of 8. God.
All right, moving on. Our favorite, a guy we don't say by name, but we'll just call him number 71. Number 71 had a 41.
that's right about he got.
I am never giving him a smiley face.
Out of principle, Bull gives the upset.
Out of
And
principle.
Tyvis in the middle. You guys are right, guys. He actually graded at a 47.6, exceeding expectations.
That's awful.
Let me-
Isn't that sad when 47.6?
Let me-
That might be. Can we go back to the graphic? That might be the most appropriate photo of any player we've used for a graphic.
I
Can you
love
show
the
that
head
one more
condom
time?
photo of him.
No, that says it all.
Yeah, it's like,
I just got my butt kicked by the Patriots.
Do you know in the first half alone?
Is he really that bad?
Yes. I watched all 22 just for him. Just for me. I watched him. I seen him get beat. First of all, him and Joe Bitonio are horrible together on the left side. They're running basic twists, and the guy's coming free. It's almost like Bitonio setting him up. He's like, no, I'm just hold my man. I'm like, Joe, you have to pass that off. He's getting beat inside on run plays. Jadeveon Clowney was just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 all in the back.
Andrew Berry was kind of critical of Jed Wills today.
Was he?
Yes, he
Because
was.
he's not good.
What did he say?
You're right. You got to call it like you see it.
Well, Andrew Berry just gave him an extension, essentially, with
Thank
a
you.
50-year
Yeah.
which
I don't
was
know
very
what-
stupid.
I wouldn't have
said
picked
on
up that.
Jed
It wasn't an
Wills-
extension. He just gave
Hold
him
on, I
50
need to hear
years.
this.
Shouldn't have done it, though.
No, I agree.
What did he
Go
say,
ahead, Mike, sorry.
McNuggets?
I don't see the exact quote, but essentially this is paraphrased from Hayden Grove. He said, Browns general manager Andrew Berry said, Jed Wills will be the first to tell you he hasn't played well yet this season. He needs to play better and will.
So that's basically Andrew saying, let me be the second to tell you.
He's listen. All jokes
Isn't it?
aside,
gotta tell
he's unplayable.
I got to be honest right
He's
now.
unplayable.
You know what? I had Tony Grossi.
I just hit myself in the balls with one. And I am hurting right now.
I looked at Bo and I almost thought, oh my
got a
God, he
little
looks like he's
nauseous
going
for a
to throw up.
It'd be like that.
I
too.
thought when he said, I got to be honest, I'm like, he's going to throw up again.
No, I'm not quite going to throw up, but
if the
I was
Browns
feeling
don't
pretty bad for a
trade
second.
for that one of them tackles at the deadline, and I talked to Tony about this. He's like, "What do you want him to do? You want him to trade and put him in at the deadline?" I'm
Look,
like,
look.
if you leave this man in there, you're essentially punting the season, which means that you're firing guys and guys.
Now
are
remember, you
demanding
got a
trade.
quarterback with a bad shoulder.
No, yes.
Tony Grossi still thinks they should be running every single play.
I mean,
Leroy said the same
Well,
thing.
not anymore.
Pretty much.
Not anymore.
I don't want to think you. I think people understating this. This is a laughing little joke running joke that Jed Wills is back.
He
Listen,
sucks.
you cannot run plays with him. There are times when there are guys open and the quarterback just needs a half a second to get rid of the football. And guess what? It's him. It's one block away on an outside zone play multiple times.
Yeah.
All you got to do is block your man. Whose man is coming free? Him. You will never be able to run an offense with this guy at left tackle. It's that bad.
I've said this a million times.
Well,
I
Jason
think
said he
people-
was all right.
He's wrong.
He's changed his
He's changed his tune.
I think people disagree, and I think this is 100% true. I'd rather have 5 average offensive linemen than 3 great ones and 2 who suck.
I do. I agree.
Because you're only as strong as your weakest
That's right.
link on the line.
And if you remember, and this is happening again right now. Remember with some of those bad most have been Browns teams. But when the Browns had like Joe Thomas, and
Steinbach.
Mitchell Schwartz, and Steinbach
Yep.
and Alex Mack.
But
their right guard was a disaster. They kept. It might have even been before Mitchell.
It was the right guard.
I think it was actually. It might have been the right tackle. Whatever it was, they had 4 really, really good offensive linemen, and they had one guy who was a disaster. And I feel like I'm gonna almost hit you.
Yeah, you better cover up,
no.
Tyvis, because he's getting
watch
close
your
to you
balls.
now.
I had one guy.
And that
And
killed
another
them.
thing.
And that killed them. But those teams weren't that good, so
No,
it
you're
didn't
right.
matter.
No, you're right. You're only
It's
as
killed
good
him.
as your worst lineman.
Listen,
And
I know Batonio's not having his best year. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
The rest of the line is fine. It's Jed Wills is killing them.
And by the way, he
Killing
is protecting the blind side of a $230 million investment, who is now hurt.
McNuggets, remember the Giants had that guy Flowers?
Yes, Eric
Eric
Flowers.
Flowers.
Do you remember
Oh
how
my
he
God,
was a running joke? And they just like, dude, we just got to get rid of him. We can't do it no more.
To put, AG's right, but to put a bigger picture to what he's kind of hammering home, you can't really dial up deep shots because your quarterback can't get his feet set to throw the ball 30, 40 yards downfield. You are hesitant to call intermediate shots because assuming any quarterback in this system will have more than 2.5 seconds to throw the ball is a gamble, and you can only run the ball to really half the field.
Nah, you're overstating because the quarterback can make up for the deficiency.
Especially this quarterback.
That's
He
what
can-
he's
he can
been
buy
doing
time in
all
that
That's what
pocket.
he's been doing
season.
his whole career.
And their offense has been bad this season. Is my point.
Big Nuggets, how many sacks did Jadeveon Clowney have?
No. See, that's another thing. What it's
Because
saying,
it dictates whether I won the fence rider question. Because I said,
He did not have a sack.
okay, well then I lost.
Here's what I'm doing if I'm the Browns. Forget Jonathan Taylor. What I'm doing is I'm going to one of the crappy teams in the NFL.
Garrett Bowles.
Whether it's Trent Brown with the Patriots.
But what are you going to give them?
What I got to give him? A second-round pick, a first-rounder in 2025? I don't.
The guy from Denver wants
Can
out,
we
who I
please
played
keep our
with.
first rounder in
I don't
2025?
care why they blow all their picks anyway. They don't
No,
make
they've got guys on the team that are drafted in the first round that are quite good.
Who?
Myles Garrett.
That's it.
was that
Okay,
20
well, aside from him.
Next.
Now, look, our percentage of hitting on first rounders is not good.
I wonder how many
But-
first round picks the Browns got.
Well, go through and list them. Most of them are here.
Amari,
Bull-
Deshaun.
On the roster right now, Tyvis, is that the question?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Amari,
Four.
Deshaun, and
Bull,
Miles.
Four that
I'm
they
with
drafted.
Oh,
I
dude.
bet.
what I saw.
Genu.
What I saw.
Denzel.
Yep.
That's
Myles
it.
Garrett.
This is fire alarm 5.
Yeah.
There were 6, 7 times, and here's the thing too. You keep saying, all right, well, Deshaun Watson is supposed to overcome this, overcome.
To
Listen,
some degree, yes.
to some degree,
Yeah.
yeah, but not to that degree. He already got a bad shoulder. Now you're not gonna be running the ball with the quarterback run. They can't even run the ball. He's getting beat on run plays.
I wonder what the conversation.
7.
I wonder what the conversation was.
That they drafted?
with Jack. No, that's on
Yeah,
the
that's
current
what I
roster.
said. I said, how many have they drafted?
Oh.
Wills, Ward, Garrett,
Genu.
and Njoku. 5.
Okay. And Wills should not be here. So that's
I wonder what the conversation between Jack Conklin and Jed Wills was after he got hurt.
No, I want to know what it was when he got that money.
No,
I can't believe
Well, both-
they called me into the office and gave me an extension.
I thought for sure they were going to cut me
And
free.
then Jed went back and was like, I can't believe they picked up that 5th-year option.
Yeah.
We're winning.
And Deshaun Watson said, wait, you did what?
oh my goodness, I can't
I don't
believe
think you'd
it.
have to. By the way, I don't think you'd have to give up that much to get Trent Brown. He's 30 and he's a free agent at the end of the year.
What about the dude from Denver?
Garrett Bowles?
Yeah.
Go after him. I don't know what his contract is, but Trent Brown's a free agent at the end of the year. He's not making that much money. The Browns can afford him.
I played with Trent. Trent
the
liked
Patriots
that.
stink. I'm calling Belichick and seeing. I'll give you a second
Garrett
round
Bowles
pick. Let's
has
go,
a
Bill.
giant contract.
And Hubbard
by
is
the way.
terrible
Yeah,
too.
I don't think they can take that on.
Hubbard's bad too.
Who's
I don't
bad?
trust Hudson.
James
Hudson.
Hudson.
Hey, listen, Hudson Bay.
He stinks.
Oh goodness, we don't want no parts of Hudson.
They making Bill look bad.
If you traded, you know what? I literally just said the other day. I tweeted out after I saw the Rodney Harrison thing,
Yeah.
where I thought he was just gross in that situation.
Right.
I tweeted out that I'm often, because I get caught up, I'll say harsh things about players.
Yeah.
It's fair to call players, oh, this guy's not as good, whatever. Yeah. He's an average guy. Sometimes I'm harsh with my language, and it's something I really want to work on. Anyway, and I just did it now, so I want to be aware of it. But if you traded for a guy like Trent Brown or Garrett Bowles, the Browns would go from, I think it would make a massive difference.
It would make everybody on the line
massive
better.
Difference
because they could spend more time on their assignment, not helping him.
I like the Trent Brown. Like I said, I played with Trent Brown in San Francisco. He liked that. He was really good.
Why don't you text him and see what he thinks of Cleveland?
Tyvis GMing now too. Getting his 15th job.
That's
the case. AB need to give me a percentage.
Because the reality also is with Trent Brown, they could run block really well.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a great back if you have a good offensive line.
I wanted to say that when Leroy, when I watched the backs wasn't the problem. Like they would be there ready to make a cut, and it's like it's one guy blowing an assignment, and it's other guys up there too. They blowing some, but Wills is just the outlier.
Little tease on Friday. I am about 60% of the way done, but I got a deep dive into some stats on the offensive line for the Browns through 4 games, which granted is 4 games. It's not the entire picture, but
tell us how they
some
played
stats
this
to
year.
put
How
into
many
context.
more we got of these? Because we kind of just blew this.
One second.
We got a couple more, but this
One
is a good
other thing,
conversation. It all fit into what we're doing.
One other thing that you can't – there's no numbers for this. There's nothing of how much Bitonio has to help Wills and how much Wyatt Teller has to help DeJuan Jones.
Right.
And it's not just the Browns. It's other teams with young players. But you can't factor that in. Like, how do I know?
Right.
How much of a factor? I think it's easy to assume that that's factoring into maybe their struggles a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I think it is, Bull, because we've never, ever used Joel Bitonio's name in anything but a glowing light.
That's right.
And what they're doing now is basically they're taking the center out of it. They're saying, listen, we'll make and preoccupy the center with a defensive tackle. Then we'll isolate the left side of the field and say either a linebacker or a defensive end, we're going to run some sort of twist, text, or something. And every single time they're running that, it's like they don't have the communication to pass it off. And so somebody's coming free.
But that's one-on-one.
That's elementary.
Yeah.
It's
I
elementary.
know how to do that, and I've never played the line in my life.
That's so frustrating, bro. It's just crazy.
You take the one that's immediately the threat to the quarterback. You make sure that one's secure. You got the one that's going to wrap around. You could be late to that just a little bit.
What is the
because
play
it's
call?
Further distance.
What is the play call for standing up and just looking around
Boy.
and not hitting anybody? What is
called
that
the
play
Jed.
call?
It's called.
I'm not saying his name no
Yep,
more.
no, we're not saying his name. We are moving on to our next guy.
The J-Dub.
Our
J-Dub.
next PFF guest, the guy who played with Burns this weekend, he was also questioned. Well, he did show up. He led the team in catches, led the team in receiving yards. David Njoku, over under a 64.
I have not got one right yet.
He played. Now I don't know if PFF took this into account, but he showed up to the game looking like Jason,
Yeah.
That's a shame.
and that could not have been a comfortable game for him.
No.
Putting that helmet on with burns on his face.
Sweat.
I thought he played one of the better games I've seen him play in a while.
This when I watched the film, this dude was open. I stopped counting over 15, 17 times.
Oh, my God.
He was just open. Like nobody around him in the flat ready to go.
Why didn't the eye in the sky see that and call down and say, look at number 85, he's running free every play?
When you predetermine where you're going to throw the ball.
Because
You're going to throw it to him.
No. That's not how it go. You come out there, you look, you get your read, and you say, all right, on this route, if they run in cover 2, this is where I should go. I'm only going to look at this one guy. I ain't got time to really not look at this guy. Once he's not open, I got to take off running because my left tackle is getting beat.
But I know, but what if he's consistently running routes that are getting him free?
Well, I can't.
The offensive coordinator should see that upstairs.
I still got to know what the coverage is. Because if it's cover 2 and he's running in the flats, then that should not be open anyways.
Like,
but it was.
Well, I'm just telling you. If I'm – all right, so go. Okay, it's cover 2. That shouldn't be open. So my new number 1 read when it's cover 2 is this guy. Okay, he's not there. I can't get him the ball. Oh, my God, I got to take off running. How am I going to do that?
Do you and as a rookie,
Make it happen,
Tyvis, there's times where some people can't read a whole field.
And just start calling plays for 85. If he's opened over and over and over and over again,
Get him the damn ball.
call his number.
And then
it's
you know
not that hard,
what's going to
guys.
happen.
Whether or not-
As soon as you do it,
All right, let's hear
they're
what he
going to
said.
play the right coverage.
Okay,
He's
then
gonna
you
be
go
able
to something else, don't you?
He can.
What's
No,
the results,
I start
Mike?
calling something else.
Yeah,
If they start
what was the
covering him up-
answer?
I think
Bull has finally got one right. Njoku did score higher than the 65, a 67.6. grade.
I thought he played great. I'm surprised it was that
His
low.
biggest pass of the game, he had ran a little pivot route, caught it in stride, ran up the middle. But other than that, he was just open, bro. It was tough.
We're going to fly through the last couple. How about
didn't he have
Myles
6
Garrett,
catches?
PFF's darling, a 74, over under a 74 for Myles
I
Garrett.
refuse to. I would never.
This is easy.
Yeah, I ain't never seen Myles Garrett get.
You're saying below?
Below?
Yeah.
Wow.
I ain't never seen Myles Garrett get a.
We had 3 overs and an under, and Bull, you nailed it. The
course
lowest
I did.
graded game for
Mike
Myles
gave
Garrett
it away.
I
You
could
guys
find.
dropped the ball on that one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, I just know that PFF loves him.
I know that.
There's been games where I thought he was on a milk carton, and PFF gives him a 96.
But you know how Mike gave that away? Because if it was over, he would have put a much higher number than that.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
You know what?
You're
I
right.
tripped on that.
So you're playing the head game
I
instead
tripped
of
on-
over-under.
That's right.
They probably
He is psychoanalyzing
It hasn't
you
worked.
to the end of the world.
It hasn't worked.
No,
He's 2
I-
out.
I went down that one.
Hey,
It was mental
I
domination
tripped.
right here.
Myles Garrett gave up low-key 2 touchdowns. One on the quarterback when they ran like a quarterback, like a
The first
counter.
touchdown where all the flow was going one way.
And they kind of walled him off. They scored. And on the quarterback power play where he just led through
Yes,
with the running
yes.
back. And, you know, they was running the football. So his run grade couldn't have been dope. Like, they was gashing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, his run grade was not great. His overall splits, just so you guys are aware, and this is shocking. Myles Garrett, you never see these numbers. A 63.7 overall grade, a 29.4 run defense grade, and a 91.4 pass rush grade.
Yeah, so he was up to his normal standards in pass, but he was.
But they was running that ball.
He was one-dimensional.
Yeah, they was running. And then
Now-
when you run upfield, Jay, it leaves.
Is that the Lamar
Chasms.
Jackson effect, though?
Wait a minute. Say that one more time.
We're gonna get to Lamar in one sec, Jay.
Hold
Don't
on.
worry.
What happened now?
Listen, hold on, listen. I've already talked about this before you was here.
Please,
so we
let
don't
me
have
hear
to go
it.
back
Let
over
me
that.
hear it again.
Now I said, remember,
'Cause I-
Jay said, listen, if you don't have contain to one side of the field, you can get touched.
Okay.
But I said he ran upfield. That ain't the same as
Wait a
contain.
minute. No. Wait.
You see what I did? Semantics, boo.
I think
ran upfield.
You know what? I think with the Browns defense that we should be aggressive. Don't change nothing. You dictate the terms.
In fairness to
you
G,
go
they didn't
after
lose.
Lamar.
They didn't lose because
And
of
I
defense,
said,
Tyvis.
okay.
They lost because of the
They
offense.
didn't, they didn't,
Okay.
they didn't, actually, that was a pretty good G. Bush impersonation.
Yeah, that was it.
His chest was all big and stuff. Yeah. It was boombastic. I like it, bro.
By the way, that play that you mentioned, G, where Lamar is holding the running back's jersey.
Yeah.
I thought that was fascinating when they described that. It's
Yes.
like he pulls
He's going
the
to see
direction.
which way does the defender
Yeah.
go, and he's going to use him
was
almost as a
fascinating.
shield.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's that old Le'Veon Bell. I used to hate Le'Veon Bell when he
Yeah,
used to do
I
this.
know. That's
Picking
smart.
his-
It's
and
smart.
you can never get him.
He used to take his time. He sit there.
Just, dude.
Go.
Which way you going to go?
He was
And I'm
most
going the other
patient
way.
back ever.
I'm glad he ruined his career.
We got 2 more, guys. We can't do
I'm
a
glad he got out
PFF
of
guessing
Pittsburgh.
game
Yeah, he got to go.
without putting Tyvis's best friend in here. How about Denzel Ward? Over under a 52.
Don't disrespect him.
We got touched. I didn't see his name called too much.
I didn't either. I think it's slightly
He did not
above
record
that.
a tackle, a pass break. He was not in the box.
That's why we didn't hear his name called too much.
Maybe he didn't want no picture yesterday.
And you're trying to talk us into going under.
Maybe.
He did not record a tackle. He did not break up a pass.
You're not going to coerce me to go down.
I'm the only one under, Mike.
The
I'm
mental
going over.
warfare with Bull continues. Did Bull beat me or did Bull lose again? The answer is
Bull
obvious.
lost.
He did go over. 54.5.
That was pretty close.
Do
though.
that.
He did not record a stat in
Go
the boxer.
Bucks.
We did not make a game graphic for
That's
him this
still a
week.
bad
because there
grade.
was not.
What was it?
Nothing. He didn't
There was-
do anything.
What
It
is
would
his
just be a blank
coverage
stat.
grade?
Did they throw his direction at all?
So according to PFF, he had a 64.5 run defensive grade, a 51.8 coverage grade. He was thrown at 2 times. He allowed 2 receptions for 13 yards.
Well, he was
And
two
a
for-
touchdown. The Mark Andrews touchdown
Yes.
was technically.
Oh,
But I don't fault him for that at all.
It was. Yeah,
I mean,
he
he
didn't
was
get
just
crushed
born
for
too
it.
short.
I mean, did he mistime his jump?
He could have. I thought he could have got a little more on his leap, but
That was a dime.
It was a crazy
Perfect
dive.
throw,
It
great
was-
catch.
You
One
know
of the-
what? That's the same thing. Didn't Elijah Moore do him like that on the deep ball? He like jumped up and it was like all over the internet on
Yeah.
OTAs. He
Yeah.
like just
It was
missed
Elijah
it.
Moore's best catch in the last 10 months.
In his life.
You need
his
to
life.
you need to cut it out.
you know, you had mentioned, and I thought it was hyperbole at the time. You said that might be one of the best throws Lamar Jackson has ever made.
It was.
Ever.
I've heard two other people say that since. Now, if you go back, it might be prisoner of the moment. Lamar has made some on-the-run throws, 65, 70 yards in the air on a button. The degree of difficulty on that is high, but to your point, he had to get that over and it was only his guy could get it.
It was another defender.
There were three guys there.
Lamar has 3 plays that's been amazing. One, when he was going against Cincinnati and he hit that spin move on everybody and messed everybody up. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that.
2, when he went to the bathroom and came out, came out the bathroom and threw a game with it. It was 4th and like 6, and he comes and throws a touchdown on the play. And then this last one that he just threw to Mark Andrews.
How does your digestive system work during the game?
Hey, you remember when Joe Paterno had to leave the game in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
And he ran off the field.
Sandusky?
He ran off the field with a pair of khakis on. And when he came back, he had dark pants.
Oh, yeah, some sweats
it's on YouTube.
Hey, at that time.
Hey, I tell you what, if you call that up and we tagboard that, you'll never laugh so hard. He runs off the field and he's running all tight ass.
Hey, man.
Because, he's like, I got to go now.
No, I feel
and he came running back out after halftime with a different color pair of pants.
Hey,
at that
some
age,
of us can still work while we do that.
At that age, it'll be an avalanche. You can't control that.
We got one more, then we're going to move on to a Grant Delpit topic here. But we mentioned Lamar Jackson. We just mentioned that throw. What about over?
By the way, I got to say, Mike, I'm going to cut you off again.
Bad job out of you.
All to your frustration. I think you took a misstep here. You should have ended with the Grant Delpit one if we were going to talk about Grant Delpit next.
I wanted you guys to forget that this was a bad grade before Tyvis tries to make the case.
All right.
And rightfully so, that he could be the best safety in football. How about Lamar Jackson? Over under a 74 for his performance.
I don't know what I threw. I'm throwing it up blind.
Bro, he was 15 and 19. He did have a turnover. I don't know if they gave that to him.
I think this is a trap game.
I think it's a trap, too.
I'm going under.
It was a trap. Jay and Tyvis read me correctly.
I think I got just about every one of them
70.7. His pass grade was an 83. His run grade, because the fumble,
that hurt
dropped him, and that is why he fell. But